Step to the mic, it is just you and the greatest of all time. Zero pressure. Oh, and catch this. The guy basically operates with 4 first names. He has also logged 4 primetime broadcasts so far, sitting shotgun next to Kevin Burkhardt as the brand new voice of Fox. A full month has passed. Leaving the gridiron for the press box was billed as the most monumental television debut in sports history. But let's be brutally honest. It was not driven by massive fan demand. Seriously, were you actively begging for this? Look, I bleed Tampa Bay. He delivered my ultimate football memory. Yet even I was not losing sleep waiting for his breakdown of Dak Prescott. What exactly jumps off the tape when you scout Prescott? What makes him a lethal threat, given the absolute backroom war Fox waged to secure this massive broadcast deal? The stakes were astronomical. We are talking heavy negotiations. This had to be an era-defining shift, or else the entire gamble falls completely flat. $375 million. Network insiders literally compared this massive operation to the Manhattan Project. Do we need a history lesson on that reference? Because equating a football broadcast to atomic warfare is pure insanity. The landscape permanently shifted. A handful chuckled, a couple shed tears, but a vast majority just watched. Total silence from the masses. Sure, critics will claim evaluating his booth performance after just 4 weeks is incredibly premature. But when you ink a $375 million pact, you forfeit the right to a learning curve, zero margin for error. You are thrust directly into the flagship broadcast on opening Sunday. It is blast off for our very own gridiron Oppenheimer. Regardless of his performance, he is locked in for the Super Bowl. Throw in the sheer disrespect of bumping Greg Olsen just to clear the throne. They demoted arguably the most elite analyst in the game. Talk about a heavy crown. Then again, defying impossible odds is his entire legacy. Despite the sheer insanity that paycheck, the logic tracks. Look at Tony Romo instantly predicting plays and turning the booth upside down. That magic faded fast, but it still earned him a monumental 2020 extension, effectively setting the market rate we see today. Nothing against Romo, but if a solid quarterback could revolutionize television, just picture what the ultimate champion could unleash. That was the dream. With the stage set and 4 weeks down, how is the undisputed king faring upstairs? The pressure is suffocating. He has to execute. The sole justification for that astronomical salary is his sheer gravitational pull. His football intelligence carries untouchable authority. Any armchair quarterback 3 beers deep thinks they can outsmart a low-tier broadcast crew on a Sunday afternoon. But when the master dissects a play, the entire room goes dead silent, though clearly, some guys on the field still are not fazed. A quick hand signal, basically shouting, "Nice try." But I see you dropping back into deep coverage. In this league, brutal honesty is rare. Being a hotshot draft pick with a shiny resume buys you absolutely nothing on Sunday. The true savior of this rocky transition has been Kevin Burkhardt. The guy is an absolute maestro, effortlessly pulling off a job completely out of your league. Seriously, put down the glass. Burkhardt is saving the broadcast play-by-play, masking the silences, and literally spoon-feeding the rookie his talking points. What made that defense such a nightmare? Was it the sheer unpredictability of the blitz packages? Is he constantly audibling at the line of scrimmage? Decode that per-snap chaos for us right now. Did you prefer picking apart man coverage or shredding a zone? Veteran booths rarely need these softballs tossed their way. They serve strictly as training wheels to get the legend comfortable on the mic. Granted, spinning gold during a lopsided massacre is nearly impossible. Unfortunately, his entire slate of games has been uncompetitive garbage. Without absolute sideline chaos, a blowout puts viewers straight to sleep. It got so grim that producers literally abandoned the live action just to run a highlight reel of his past glory. I had a massive war room checklist for joining the Buccaneers. We are talking an 18-point strategy. The Bears were actually a massive dark horse in that race, which is a closely guarded secret. Hold up, you nearly played in Chicago. That is absolute insanity. Nobody knew that. The ultimate icon wearing navy and orange just 4 seasons back. The bottom line, the league needs to feed this crew a nail-biter before week 8, or the trivia well runs dry. I want a frantic 2-minute drill. That is the ultimate crucible, facing a savage pass rush with 0 timeouts. That is where legends are made or broken in the booth. The man clearly grasps the chess match, but he is fighting entirely on foreign soil up there. Critics butchered his stuttering premiere. Yet the craziest part was witnessing the ice-east veins in sports history completely rattling under the spotlight. Absolute laser of a throw, but how will it play out matching up CeeDee Lamb against Denzel Ward? I just follow the producer's orders. Let us be real. I am a freshman in this arena. They basically strapped a straitjacket on his natural cadence. He is utterly terrified of using filler words on a hot mic, but the massive downside to that strict discipline is glaringly obvious. He physically short-circuits on live television, glitching out like a scratched compact disc, while trying to analyze a tight end releasing into the flat. The live reps will eventually smooth out the rough edges, but right now the struggle is absolutely impossible to ignore. Boom. Another fresh set of downs on the ground. Facing him in uniform was pure agony. The guy operated with such surgical precision that he never even broke a sweat. Opponents bled out slowly from countless underneath routes. Now behind the microphone, that hypercalculated mindset feels bizarre, even if his brain processes the gridiron flawlessly. Maybe the ticking clock between snaps throws him off his rhythm. Or perhaps he just freezes, trying to verbally decode the defense fast enough. Whatever the block is, his on-air performance so far boils down to playing it incredibly safe. We are getting the broadcast equivalent of a simple dump-off pass. Terrified of stumbling live or alienating the fan base, he settles for the absolute bare minimum, feeding us tired coach speak instead of real fire. We hear the same hollow scripts: control the tempo, protect the rock, dictate the pace. Earning 10 yards in this league is a brutal dogfight. Grabbing 15 yards is a nightmare, and ripping off 20 is near impossible. This weekly grind is ruthless, and showing up unprepared guarantees you leave on a stretcher. His breakdowns sound exactly like those sterile, rehearsed soundbites athletes feed reporters right after the final whistle blows. To be fair, he basically invented that robotic media armor over 2 decades, but right now it makes for painfully dull television. He also tosses out random report card grades for specific plays. Initially, you buy into the gimmick, thinking it is pure gold. Honestly, who possesses more authority to critique a spiral than the greatest ever? Yet, just 2 reps later, the whole bit falls completely flat. Top marks for the delivery, perfect score for the grab, average release, elite snag. Then the quarterback simply loses his grip. Flawless strike, absolute perfection, followed by total garbage execution. You can hear the awkwardness in his voice. It feels like network executives are forcing this gimmick down his throat. The debut season has been violently inconsistent, with the massive target on his back and universally entrenched biases. The vicious public backlash was entirely unavoidable. The real shocker here is the absolute lack of electricity. Sunday after Sunday rolls by, and the man who redefined greatness blends seamlessly into the background. He comes off like a programmed robot, attempting an impression of a seasoned broadcaster, suggesting he is still desperately hunting for his true on-air identity, or in a catastrophic nightmare for the network. This flat delivery is his actual ceiling, even with a massive media blitz and a perfectly curated online persona. The jury is still out on whether he can command the microphone. The executives gambled big, praying they bought the next broadcasting legend to anchor their franchise. However, raw charisma and natural television instincts cannot simply be hacked in the film room, no matter how relentlessly you study tape. Yet, if the charming anchor persona fails, he possesses a lethal, deeply ingrained weapon ready to be unleashed right this second. Pure, unadulterated hostility. Using his own metric, the man scores a perfect grade in ruthless disdain. And honestly, that is his absolute greatest asset. He openly mocks the modern buddy culture among athletes. That total intolerance for weakness is exactly what fueled his terrifying championship reign. Since walking away from the turf, he has gleefully shredded mediocre passing performances and blasted the undeniable softening of the modern game. Audiences devour that raw honesty because it bleeds authenticity. He looks around the league today and sees nothing but watered down, average talent. The golden era of gridiron dominance is dead to him. Plastering on a fake smile to applaud garbage execution goes completely against his DNA. He thrives when dropping heavy truths from the ultimate mountaintop. Sure, broadcasting etiquette prevents him from completely nuking every bad snap live on national television, but you can feel him holding back the venom, and viewers crave that savagery. When another stupid flag flies, let the frustration bleed out. This is elite competition, not an adult babysitting gig. He famously declared that if he wanted cheap thrills, he would take his kids to a theme park. People completely lost their minds over his recent quarterback critiques. But listen, this merciless standard is his defining trait. We need to unleash the beast and revel in the chaotic brilliance brings to the broadcast. So far, he has masked agonizingly bad football behind polite chuckles. While no one wants a non-stop complaining session, every quarter. Forcing this toxic positivity narrative is a catastrophic misstep that completely wastes his true potential. The most maddening, trend-ruining professional sports coverage right now is how analysts constantly blind viewers with relentless, unearned hero worship for the league stars, applauding an average scramble just because of the name on the jersey, is utterly exhausting. The ultimate cheat code to dominate the industry. Become the ruthless judge of actual talent. He possesses the unparalleled pedigree and the icy demeanor to pull it off perfectly. He once admitted that when opponents fanboyed over him before kickoff, he instantly knew he had already shattered their will to fight. Forcing a legendary second act behind the microphone demands a delicate, high-stakes balance of celebration and absolute ruthlessness. Stripped of his uniform, his verbal arsenal is fully unlocked. It is still the first quarter of this experiment, and we all desperately want him to conquer the booth. Once he finally ditches the safety wheels and injects some genuine venom into his breakdowns, he will be an absolute force of nature. Yet, factoring in the astronomical price tag and suffocating hype, even flawless execution might fall short of the myth. 2. 1.